All week, we have heard about the Democrats and their arguments over money. Republicans have said they will not support this agenda to spend recklessly, and Democrats cannot seem to get everyone on the same page. One thing is very clear throughout all the bickering. Joe Biden is committed to wasting your money. This is the Closet Conservative Podcast. Democrats are committed to spending $3.5 trillion. Well, the radical ones are. Radical Democrats continue to tell Biden and Pelosi that they will not support any infrastructure bill that does not include the massive government handouts that the radical left is wanting. Billions for free education, free housing, for illegal immigrants, and more. Now, the Senate had passed what was referred to as a bipartisan infrastructure bill, but these radicals have said they would hold it hostage, refusing to allow it to pass the House without the spending bill passing. Now, let's just be clear. This bipartisan infrastructure bill is nothing more than reckless government spending as well. And Democrats cannot afford the defections in the House to help Joe Biden's agenda along. So it's really set up the ultimate showdown. Senator Joe Manchin continues to stand his ground on the massive spending bill, but he has indicated he's willing to cave on a smaller spending bill. Biden heard that, and boy, his eyes have lit up. He heard something, and he wanted to get a hold of that. He wanted to make sure they could talk about it and work out some kind of ridiculous deal. On Friday, Biden went to Congress and said he didn't care how long it took for them to pass something. He just wants them to pass something. Now, if you heard that, he doesn't care what's in it. He don't care how much it is. Just pass something. He doesn't care. He just wants to get something passed and spend taxpayer money. It doesn't matter to him that we're trillions in debt. It does not matter to him that these programs that they want to pass are going to destroy jobs, crush the economy, and force many Americans into government dependence on some level. That's not important. It's not important at all. We can't talk about those negative side effects. We just need to do something. In fact, he said he doesn't care if it takes 6 hours, 6 days, or 6 weeks. He's committed to passing something. Now, let's just be clear. That's not a man that is leading a country. That is a man that is scrambling. That is a man that is continuing to see Americans that are questioning his leadership. It's a man whose poll numbers continue to fall amid all his failures. He's doing anything he can to buy power for the Democrats. He and his handlers believe they can simply pass something to give away free stuff, and it will help them win the midterms. But I don't think Americans are quite that naive. I don't think Americans have forgotten Afghanistan and that he ordered Americans left behind. I don't think Americans have forgotten those 13 lives that were lost, the U.S. military members, because of the ineptness of this leader. I don't think Americans have forgotten how great the economy was before Biden and how the radical left mandatory shutdowns crushed the economy. I don't think Americans are so quickly to forget the attempted forced vaccination on American workers. It should be free choice for Americans. If they want the vaccine, they should have the ability to get it. They should be able to educate themselves on it and decide. But instead, Joe Biden's regime wants to force them to take a vaccine. Americans are not forgetting these things. But Americans should also not forget the massive amount of government debt that our nation currently has. We can't forget that our nation is currently almost $29 trillion in debt. We did not reach that level of national debt by not spending enough. We reached that level of national debt by spending way too much. We reached that level through government incompetence, and that's on both sides, the Democrats and the Republicans. For far too long, Republicans have allowed Democrats to get away with their spending antics under the disguise of safety and protection. Republicans added trillions to the national debt, and that was in times when they had the opportunity to balance the budget and truly address the national debt. Americans must also remember that this president is not mentally fit to be president. The man cannot operate without his handlers. He can't operate without a teleprompter. He can barely decide and remember what flavor of ice cream he has. That seems to be the level of decision making that the President of the United States has at the moment, to simply decide what flavor ice cream he would like to have. Over at the Liberty Loft, we had a pretty good cartoon on Friday. It's pretty witty, I thought, from Al Goodwin. And it said that instead of hope and change like Obama had promised, Biden is bringing Americans hopeless change. That's exactly what these spending bills are going to do. You can call it infrastructure. You can call it building America back better. You can put whatever fancy label you want on these plans. They're going to deliver hopeless change. They're going to continue to decimate the U.S. economy. They're going to continue to crush the American dream and continue to rip freedom away from future generations of Americans. But of course, that's exactly what Joe Biden is committed to do with his ridiculous, radical agenda. The Closet Conservative Podcast is a production of The Liberty Loft. Copyright The Liberty Loft 2021. You can find more shows and information on our website, www.thelibertyloft.com, or on any of our social media channels. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast, leave a 5-star review, and share the podcast with your friends.